I'm recording. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the features of RPR. RPR in itself has so much that you can do. It would literally take multiple classes, multiple hours to kind of go over and dive into everything that it can do. So what I did is I kind of broke it down into basically like the top 10 things that you can do. So what is RPR? RPR stands for Realtor Property Resources. It's the nation's largest property database, and it's exclusively for realtors. There's no access to the general public. They can't get any of the information, at least not through RPR. It's only specifically built for realtors. It contains information on over 160 million parcels nationwide. It has the data from 350 nationwide public record data sets. So that means you will be able to access property information in other areas as well that is not just related to your Bright subscription. This is good for helping clients that want to relocate to other areas. You can kind of look up what their current neighborhood is like and find a similar neighborhood either in an area that they're going to or an area that they're coming to in our respective area. So like I said, it attaches itself to the public records of over 350 nationwide data sets. And then in the area that you have an MLS subscription, your local MLS syncs to that. That way you have access to all the active, the sold and off-market data, so that you have not only the public records, but you have your MLS data all in one place. The data that you are able to access consists of the property's characteristics, tax information, mortgage information, school districts, neighborhoods, distressed properties, Plat Maps, the walkability of the neighborhoods, marketplace statistics, demographics and makeup, as well as disclosure information. Who has the access to RPR and how much does it cost? Like I said, it's only for realtors. There is no public access, no consumer side to the application. It's both web-based and there's an app for it as well. I've gone out and done some showings, and I just open up the app, type in the address, and you have all the MLS and public records and everything right there, tax information right on your phone. It's 100% free. It's included with your dues that you pay to the NAR. So the only way that people are going to be able to have this information is if you are creating reports and passing that information over to your clients, right? So because this is free and included with your dues, take advantage of the information and make yourself stand out as an expert. When you see some of the things that you're able to do with RPR, I have a feeling you're gonna be going there and generating quite a few reports of your own, after this call is over. So the overview of the presentation and the things that we're gonna kind of go through as the top 10 here is being able to kind of identify a seller's motivation, the value of home improvements, comparative analysis, valuation workbooks, being able to search distressed properties, bank-owned properties, foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, things of that nature. The mapping tools, the extensive way that you can go through heat maps, drive times, flood zones, everything that you can look up on the maps. Market area activity, what the markets are doing, if they're holding stable, if they're declining, if they're appreciating, what's going on in those markets. And the same with the neighborhood reports, being able to be the expert, being able to give people information on schools. When you generate some of these reports, it even comes up with reviews from the public to those specific schools and businesses in the area. Again, how this can be used for helping to relocate clients. And then the secret sauce is the trade area reports. What this does is it gives you a breakdown of how the neighborhoods are made up of, what the average incomes are, the age variations, and then each individual group is broken down and identified with, the census, like their interests, where they shop, what they do, what they what kind of vacations they take. It's really kind of crazy. I was showing a couple other people this, and they just couldn't believe, the type of information that RPR has, available to us as realtors. So I'm going to go ahead and move out of the PowerPoint for a moment and just use it as a reference guide for me. And if anybody wants it, it's just a rough PowerPoint. It's not like 100%. I just kind of threw it together over the last day or two, just kind of using it to use it as like I said, a guideline for the class itself. So identifying a seller's motivation. Basically, we're going to use RPR as our research tool to kind of see what's going on with particular properties. Like I said, you're able to look up all properties, neighborhoods, school districts, market activity, to see what a seller's motivation could be, or if they're in any kind of financial or distressed situation, or just checking out the history of properties, right? On the main screen, when you log in, everything is located under the home section, right? So this is where you kind of go as sort of like a dashboard by any other name on other programs, right?
Ted, where do you log in at?
So you can log in through NAR at www.narrpr.com. And when you first create your account and you log in, you're going to have to go under and set up a profile just like you normally would with, Command or anything like that. You go to the little cog wheel, you go to your profile, and you add your photos and information, where you work, telephone numbers, and then you're going to scroll down to the bottom and connect your MLS. So it'll ask you.
So if you didn't have a license number like that, you can't get in.
Yes, this is for realtors only. This is not available to anybody else. So the general public is not able to come into RPR. This is specifically for agents. So once you log in, you can, like I said, log in through the NAR at www.narrpr.com. And that'll take you directly to the website where you can create your account. And once you're able to log in and set up your profile, again, this is free. This has no cost to you. It's all included with your NAR dues. So
I have a question, Ted. It's
sure.
Lola. So it says when you create your account, it asks you commercial or residential. Can you do both?
So you're gonna automatically go through residential, but if you can see my screen right here, once you're already created your account, you can come up to this little tab right here and click to switch over to the commercial profile.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, and we'll get to that at the very end of the presentation. The trade report that I was talking about, the commercial trade report, that's going to be done through the commercial section, and that's something that is very handy to print out and take with you when you're doing an open house, because it gives you the entire statistics and makeup of whatever area that you're basically doing the report for. And like I said, I'll show you that. It shows you traffic counts on a daily basis, and everything is literally broken down for every aspect of a neighborhood. So for a seller's motivation, we're going to come to the home screen. We're going to go to all properties, and then you're going to type in the property address that you're looking for. So I'm just going to bring up random properties that I've searched before, just to kind of show you what you're going to do, right? So when you type in the property address and you click search, it's going to take you to the screen, and it's going to be everything about this property. Now, right now we're in what's called the summary view. So you can kind of scroll through and get the summary of the home, previous photo from the prior listings, the previous description, any property notes, homeowner's facts, the facts about the house, median estimated home values in the area, or home value for the home. You see the yellow line would be this particular house, 19125, the Philadelphia County. You can hover over anything. It's all kind of interactive to see where that price range would be. You can see right there, 301,740. It gives you a breakdown of the schools, all the interior features. Like I said, this is the home summary in the neighborhood, right? But what we were going to do is to see the history of the house, right? So at the top, next to summary, you'll see history. So when you click on history, this graph is going to show you all prior activity of the property, and you can hover over any of the little icons that you see for more details, right? So this kind of gives you a key of what those icons are. Blue dollar signs being financial activity, right? So if you hover over this blue icon, you'll see that it was a new conventional loan done back in December 12th, 2019 for $175,000. And then, like I said, this outlines what is going on with this property, right? AVM or RVM, it's automated valuation model, and Realtors valuation model. So that's what this dotted black line is, right? If you hover over this black line, it's going to give you what the house's estimated value is at that point in time, right? So you see the graph down here goes back to 2015 for this particular property. And if you were to hover over anywhere on this black line, it's going to give you the date and what the valuation of that house was at that point in time. This is, like I said, very helpful to help identify what a seller's motivation is. If they were contacting you tomorrow to say, I'm looking to put this house on the market, and you bring this up, you can kind of look back in time and see that they were obviously trying to list the house at this time, and they did multiple price adjustments, moving it down, 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 right? If this person had been in any legal, list pendings or pre-foreclosures or foreclosures, you would have a big red line that strikes straight down through the date. So when you hover over that red line, it's going to tell you the date and what the issue was, being in a distressed action. So you can kind of get a feel for what is the reason behind somebody trying to put up their property for sale just by going in, typing in the address, and looking through the history right here, right? So when you're in the history screen, you're able to see prior sales transactions, tax assessment information, and mortgage records, and like I said, any distressed information that is on the property. And once you're past this graph, you're just scrolling down, right? So prior sales transactions, you have the ability to see public and listing records, right? So any public records or any prior listing records would show up in this particular property. Now, because there was no actual transactions before 2015, those public records are not showing up. Let me pull up another property just to kind of see. Okay. So you can see a different graph. Again, you type in the property, you go to history, and right here, now there's a perfect example, a distressed action, right? You hover over that red line, and it shows you that in September of 2017, there was an issue at this point in time, right? Just for your own reference, like, so scrolling down, you'll be able to see the prior sales transactions. You have the availability, because it's in our area, of having public records as well as records from the MLS, right? So you can kind of come in here, see what was going on. If you wanted to look at the MLS records, you click on the prior listing records, and then you can scroll back through years of when transactions or things had taken place, right? You can go back in time and see what was going on with any listing records, right? The mortgage records, actually this was tax records. The mortgage records are right here, but it's the same principle. You can go back in time and see when transactions had taken place according to what is in the MLS, right? If you go back up here and scroll and click public records, it's going to show you what was on the public records as well. You'll see who the lender names were, the title companies. Just for, again, quick reference, you have everything in one place rather than jumping back and forth in between Bright and trying to pull things up. This is you have access to this in a a handheld app for your mobile phone as well. Any distressed information, again, it's going to show you when that distressed Liz Pendings was filed, September of 2017. So home valuations, right? Now you're in this house's summary, and you know that they've done a lot of work prior to wanting to list this property, right? Before you, so this is giving you just the realtor's valuation model of what this house could potentially sell for, right? But you want to be able to refine that price. By coming in here, you want to verify that this information is correct, right? Is it a 3-bedroom? Is it a 1-bathroom? By going on your main screen. Okay, so this property doesn't have it, but there's a button that says historical records. And you click on that, and there will be multiple historical records of when the property was listed. You want to verify and validate that you have the correct amount of bedrooms, bathrooms, because those are the types of things that are going to affect this refined estimate of the cost of the house, right? So let's say that there was a home improvement that was done. This home improvement area here, it's going to help the sellers realize the value of depreciation of any improvements that they've completed on the property. And in order to get an accurate RVM, we want to make sure that we click this refine button, open into the refine tools, which this is where we're at now, the refine button. And then this drop-down menu is a bunch of what can be done to the home, right? If there was a bathroom remodel, was it a mid-range remodel? Was it an upscale remodel? Do you not know what a mid-range or upscale is? All you have to do is click on this, and it's going to open up what they consider to be a mid-range remodel to this particular property, right? It says that it's a typical 5x7 bathroom, replacing all the fixtures, include 30 by 60 inch porcelain on steel tub with 4x4 inch ceramic tile. So it's giving you a breakdown of what a mid-range remodel is, right? So let's just say for the purposes of this, this demonstration, this remodel was done August of 2019, right? Towards the last quarter of the year. The total cost they spent was, we'll say, $8,500. Right? When we click add, it's going to give us the automatic depreciation of the value of the remodel, right? So they spent $8,500, but they're getting a return investment of almost $5,000, and it's adding that remodel into the RVM, your refined value model. And you can do this for whatever you need to in terms of a cost that has been done to the home, right? Now, if let's say you have an investor or somebody that likes to flip houses, and this is not a cost, like this bathroom remodel here is not actually being used, it's not going to depreciate, right? So what you would do is you would open up this drop-down menu, you would scroll down to the bottom and click Other. Now when I do August of 2019, for $8,500, full bathroom remodel, mid-range, and add that in, it's not going to depreciate, right? This is, again, good for the investors and people that are fully gutting houses and not living in them and not using them, to kind of get an estimate of what the value of, you know, the home could be. One second. The next part of this drop-down menu here is the refined value based on any needed improvements, right? So let's say that you're completely aware that for this, say, a garage door and motor replacement, right? So let's say that you had somebody come out and they quoted it as a $3,000 job to completely replace the door, the motors, the springs, the hinges, everything that needs to be done, right? So that's an added improvement that needs to be completed, or needed improvements, right? When you click add, it's going to add that in to the cost and automatically deduct it off of the RVM, right? So now you're being honest with yourself. You want to be as fair and honest as possible. If you know that something needs to be done, add that in. If you have the receipts and the quotes from a contractor or a repair person, you know, the person's getting ready to list the property, adding all this stuff in is going to give you the most detailed and accurate way of being able to provide them a price that, you know, that house is going to sell for, what you should list it at, right? You're also able to correct any errors and omissions that you see when you're going to create a report. So if you notice that it's showing it as a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, but it's really a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, you're going to want to correct that before, you know, you create the report, so that this model number gets updated and reflects properly, right? All too often we hear people say, oh, you know, other websites show that it's worth $275,000. Well, are their public records correct on that website? You know, is it on 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms for that house in that area on the website that they're looking at? And if so, you know, that's where you get to refine and make this your correct and accurate RVM. So, like I said, adding home improvements, you have the drop-down menu. Adding in needed improvements, that is not a drop-down menu, but you add that in, and it reduces it from the RVM. I'm going to remove this off this property. The next, as we scroll down, is refining the value based on the current market conditions, right? Is it a really hot market? Is our house is really slow to sell? Again, being honest with how the market goes, it's going to reflect on this particular property, right? So right now it's at $254,690, right? This is a really hot market, and houses are flying off, you know, the minute you put them on. What's the home's exterior condition? It's a little less than some of the others in the area. What's the interior condition? Well, they did a couple remodels. It's a little bit better. What's the lot size? It's on average with the other homes in the area. There's not really a view relative to the other properties in the area. It's in the middle of the block with no real backyard. However, that backyard is fenced off, so they have a little bit more privacy, right? It's automatically taking into the algorithm what these are based on the current market, based off of active, sold and off market on the MLS and public records, right? That's why this is being so accurate. So you come up to the top, and now it's giving you what changes and how refined the estimated cost is. Now, this isn't even creating a report yet. This is just changing the refined estimate under the summary. And you're going to be able to tweak it even more once you get into the ability to create the market analysis or the valuation workbook, whichever way you're going to go when you create your CMAs, which we'll get into in just a moment. So real quick, I've been saying the letters AVM and RVM. So back on this summary, depending on the property you're looking at, you may see AVM right here, and you may see RVM listed right here. So AVM stands for Automated Valuation Model. Basically what that is an AVM is a value that's estimated calculating on using what's listed in the public records, right? So that's why this could possibly be way off of what you may have done as far as a quick CMA to see what you think that house might sell for. Then you look in here and you go, wow, that's way off. Notice that that probably is going to say AVM because it's only going off of public records. In our area, because we have the bright MLS attached as well, we're going to have a lot of the RVMs. RVM stands for the Realtors valuation model. It's a valuation that's estimated, including the MLS actives, sold and off market, activity. It's the highest accuracy of any valuation tool that's available to realtors. It is also going to be gone over with a fine-tooth comb before you create that CMA or that valuation workbook by you, again, being as honest and fair as you can be on these properties to see what the market is like with those toggles, and so on. So now when you want to create a CMA for this property, there's two types of CMAs that you can do. There's a comp analysis and there's a sales analysis. They're both done doing the same exact 4-step process, but what is contained within those two different reports are a little bit different in the way that they vary. So a comp analysis, it generates what's called a seller's report, and it's going to give them all the information they need as a seller. And then the sales analysis is going to create a valuation workbook. Before you get that valuation workbook, the only real step that differs is the way you are editing the facts. And let me get into that. So right here, we're going to create a report. It's going to ask you, is this a comparative analysis or do you want to do a sales comparison analysis? We're going to do a comp analysis, confirming the home's facts. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. Again, you're going to make sure that we have all the right beds, baths, everything is correct. If you need to make any changes to something that is a discrepancy, you're going to make the changes in this field here. Everything looks good. Confirm the facts. Step 2, okay? When you click on find comparables in the area, it's going to bring up a map of the area. You're going to go through the filters on the left-hand side of what is comparable in the area. You're going to make sure you have the right amount of bedrooms, the bathrooms. Active for sale, pending. No distress. We're not going to use public record. And sold. So active, pending, and sold properties, making sure everything is similar to the specs of your home. If you want to do a variance in lot size, 1,000 square foot below, 1,000 square foot above, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to do a range of bedrooms and bathrooms, whatever, this is customizable, so you can check what you want. Within the last 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and then we're going to search. Okay, so it's going to bring up all the properties that are comparable to your subject property, which is listed here in yellow. If you want to zoom in, you can zoom in. If you want to zoom out, you can zoom out. So the way that you select comparable properties is you can do it one of two ways. You can click on the property and use this in your comp, or you can scroll down underneath the map and look at the actual photos of the properties, right? You have it in a list format. So you say, oh, you know what? This is one that I want. This is comparable. Add this to my list. Add this to my list. Add that to my list. Or you could do it through the map, right? Once you're done, you want to update your valuation and close this screen, right? You have now selected your comps. The next step is making adjustments to the comps, right? So you can put these in any order you want. If you wanted this property to be first, if you wanted this property to be second. If it's hard for you to see, you can make these photos a little bit bigger and scroll through, because it's going to ask you some questions. Are these properties in better condition than the subject property, or are they in worse condition than the subject property, right? So this is what's going to take into consideration the algorithm to determining an accurate price, right? So this property is a little bit worse. This property, it's about the same. This property is way better, right? So you can see it automatically adjusts your adjusted results and adjusted price per square footage right here. Shows you how this particular property is affecting the price overall, right? If this one was also better, it's going to show you again, now we're down more per square footage and more overall. But again, you want to make sure you're picking proper properties. I'm kind of going through this a little bit quicker so that we can touch on all of the aspects. This isn't just a CMA class. But as you scroll down, you'll also be able to leave notes here in the CMA that you create. So you could say property recently renovated, whatever you need to place as a note that your client would be able to see the reasoning behind why a particular property is listed higher than this one, or in lower prices than this one. Update the valuation and close. And then you would generate or create a report. When you go to create the report, we're doing a seller's report. You can click on more details. More details is going to show you all of the custom pages that are available to you to place in this seller's report. Now you can click as many as you want or as little as you want. If you're not sure what a particular page is going to look like, you hover over the icon. So by hovering over the icon, it's going to allow you a quick preview of what it looks like. Now, don't worry about this RPR because it's going to say Keller Williams and it's going to be branded to you. This is just for the information purposes of what this page would look like, right? You hover over the home facts, it'll show you how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, and it even gives you a description. Includes information about the current homeowner. Scrolling down here, market activity for the listings, the side-by-side comp analysis of the subject property, as well as all the comps that you selected for pending, recently sold, so on and so forth. If you wanted to add a seller's proceeds sheet, you could do that as well. I know a lot of us do it through Bright and attach it through DocuSign, but you can see that you would be able to do your worksheet right here if you wanted to include this in your workbook. Add it to DocuSign as a template. You can add the signature here and send that over as a part of your packet. And again, this would be branded with your information as opposed to maybe the Bright header and footer, having your professional touch to it. Once you select all the pages that you do want, you come down here. If there was, let's say, 300 properties that you selected, you can limit the amount of properties that are going to show up on your particular report. If you wanted only 4 properties, how many of those photos are shown? If you wanted every photo from the listing to show, it would come up on 2 pages, or all of them on 2 pages, or just the main photograph to limit how much ink. If you're printing this stuff out, you can absolutely do that as well. Include your notes, include my seller's proceeds entry, and public records and listing records. Personalize your report. Who's it going to? Include the recipient's name. And then you can directly email this to them, or what I like to do is display it now for myself. So when I click Run Report, it's going to generate a report, and it takes about maybe 2 minutes at max. If you have this little notification on here, a doorbell will sound. It'll go ding dong to let you know that the report has been completed. When you click on the reports, you'll see over here, My Reports, right? At this point, you can open up any of these reports by clicking on the address link, and it's going to show you the property. You can then download it, you can print it, you can do whatever you want. I tend to download this to my folders file, and this is just a valuation workbook. This shows you, I'm sorry, I wanted to open up the seller's report. So when you open up the seller's report, it gives you very detailed information. The home's facts, extended home facts, again, your toggles and how it affects the refined price, historical photos from prior listings, property history. So it's a lot of the same stuff that you get from Toolkit or other sites when you're creating CMAs, but you have the ability to customize a lot of this and make it as accurate as possible. You can see that this goes down quite a while. Heat maps, the market's activity in the area, the estimated home values. It kind of shows you, this area right here, houses are selling a little bit more than houses right here. And I'll show you a little bit more about this when we get into the mapping tools in just a minute. Searching for distressed properties. To search for distressed properties, bank-owned properties, you come into your main screen again. You go with the property address that you want to type in, or even if you're typing, looking by area, right? Let's say you want to go by Levittown. Click Levittown, Pennsylvania. Oop, I jumped the gun. You want to click search, advanced search. So once you click Levittown, Pennsylvania, you come over here to advanced, and you're going to scroll down a little bit. So as you scroll down, you're looking for where it says show, right? We want distressed properties that are not for sale, that are not pending, or not for lease. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to pull from the MLS for all distressed properties that are currently off market, right? So now you can refine this if you want to add more, fine tune what you're looking for. But again, scrolling down, distressed properties in Levittown, Pennsylvania, click search. So now it's going to bring up all of the Levittown zip codes and all of the properties that are currently off market but are in a distressed situation. You not only can click on the map and see the property, but you can scroll down and have the list of all these properties as well. If you want to see more information on that, you would again open up the property, click under history, and you're going to see these, there you go, red lines, right? When were these distressed properties? Liz Pendens in 2017 here. A notice of foreclosure in April of 2008 here. Notice of foreclosure in August of 2018 here. So you can see that this is something that has been off the market, that has gone through, financial distresses at some point, is not too long ago, within the last 2 years. For bank owned, back at that search section, when you come under Levittown, now this is where I've noticed that you have to kind of play around with the way that particular banks are listed. You would leave this all checked, or not for lease, but under the name of the owner, you're going to have to put in the name of the financial institution. So from what I've seen on other forums and things that I've gone in and researched, you can do Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I don't know if there will be any available from Levittown, but you would type in the beginning of the bank's organization's name. And is this one here? Let's see. No, this is specifically the person, I believe their name was Freddie there. But this is where bank-owned properties will show up by typing in the financial institution's name. A little bit about the mapping tools. Okay, on the right-hand side here of any area that you type in, if you are searching by neighborhood, by schools, out on this main screen, you're typing in a neighborhood. Let's say you want to see all of the neighborhoods that are within Levittown. Okay, it's going to bring up all of Levittown. I think we have to zoom in a little bit more here. You'll see these drop-down menus here. Okay, you can either draw by shape. You have your typical box. If you want to search here, if you want to reset your map, there's the reset button right here, right? If you want to draw by radius, you could do the typical circles. But here's what's really unique, right? Let's say you have somebody that is strictly needing to be in a particular area by a specific time, commute-wise, right? So they tell you that they need to be, for this purpose, we'll say the Philadelphia airport, okay? this person works at the airport. They need to be at the Philadelphia airport every single Monday by 9 o'clock, right? So we would click on the airport and put the push pin here. This person commutes by car. They could also, if it's a walking distance, they live locally and they walk to a particular address for work. They need to be there by 9 a.m. every Monday, and they do not want to commute more than 15 minutes, okay? When you click apply, it's going to show you all the possible areas that you can search for a property for this particular client, right? By clicking on this purple area, you can say, I want to search for properties in this area within a specific price range or whatever it is that you're looking for that client listing wise. I must have clicked on something incorrectly because there should be much more. I think I'm specifically, my search results are messed up. Oh, I'm under neighborhoods and not properties. That could probably be an issue. Right, so right here, use drive time, the airport by car. They need to be there by 9 o'clock on a Wednesday. They don't want to drive more than 15 minutes. You click on the purple, search in this area. I don't know why that's the only thing that's popping up. I don't know what I have set right now because I was playing around with this a little bit earlier, but yeah, so you can do by drive time. You can save these custom reports. You can save it as like if you're doing a farming area within, let's say, a 5-minute walking commute of your house, right? You would just adjust this to do drive time, the push pin, walking distance, 5-minute walking distance of the airport. It's not going to be very much from the airport, but you can see where it would hone in on your specific neighborhood. School districts, you can search school districts. When you click for Levittown, Pennsylvania, it's going to ask you to pick what school district are you specifically looking to search for. Bristol, Neshaminy, Pennsbury. You're interested in Neshaminy. A lot of people are interested in Neshaminy. It's going to give you the schools that are in Neshaminy's district, their ratings. If you wanted more information, you can click on the individual schools. You can generate a school neighborhood report. So, one second, back to neighborhoods. I just want to show the details section. When you're searching a neighborhood and you click on the details section, there's multiple sections that you can pull up. Those sections are the summary, housing, people, economy, and quality of life. So a summary is going to give you a breakdown of the overall Levittown area, the median sales price, what it's been doing over the recent time, listing price versus listing volume, not much volume, right? The population, the demographics, adults by age category, the housing stats, the change over the last month, the change over the last 12 months, how many people own versus how many people rent. Again, something that is you can generate a report, create, and take with you to an open house if you're in a specific neighborhood. Price ranges of houses sold, price per square footage, the age ranges of homes sold, the makeup of people, right? The average ages, the population of the area for Levittown versus Bucks County versus all of Pennsylvania versus the whole entire United States. population change since 2010, education levels, right? So you can finally look up and tailor what kind of a report you want to generate, what kind of materials you may want if you know that specific areas have a lot of people that work in the healthcare industry. That would be generated on another report, which would be able to show you where the majority of these people are working, right? You have economy stats, median household income, unemployment rate. Is a particular area going up in unemployment? Is it going down in unemployment? If you were getting a bunch of houses in Philadelphia right now and the unemployment rate is going through the roof, it'd be nice to know this ahead of time, right? What is the buyer's market going to be looking like if unemployment is going through the roof? How are they going to be affected with being able to get mortgages and things of that nature? And then the quality of life. This is going to give you average rainfall, average snowfall, elevation of Levittown compared to Bucks County, compared to the rest of Pennsylvania. Water quality. Look, we're not even on the charts here in Levittown. Average commute time. What is the average commute time that people are traveling to get to their jobs? How do people get to work? They drive, they carpool, public transportation, they work from home. Average monthly temperatures. This is just all extra information that you have, again, that sets yourself apart from other people. How many times do you do an open house and somebody comes in and asks you the weird questions, or what year was that dishwasher made? Now, this isn't going to do that, but you're going to have a little bit of extra information that you can say, here's an overview of the area. If you would like some specific information that you're trying to look up, maybe this may be available. You can hand this to them to read over while they're going through the home with the seller's disclosure. Let them know, hey, this is to leave the house. This is my information, but I think that this might be helpful. If you want to browse over any of this information, or you look it up, on your own. One of the last things that I want to get into is a trade area report. What the trade area report does, on your main home screen, you would actually have to come into the commercial zone. You're going to click on reports. Oh, commercial, yeah, reports. Commercial trade area reports. This is what we're looking for here, right? So the details of a commercial report is going to give you a lot of valuable information. This is really going to be helpful for you to see what a particular area is made up of, right? I'll show you. I already created one of these reports to bring up for you guys. And I have samples of all the other reports too after the class, if anybody wants to see what a particular report that's generated looks like. So this is a commercial trade area, right? I did it on my area for Croydon. So as we scroll down here, you get the median household income, the age, population, and then they have what's called segmentation, top tapestry segmentations, right? So the number one first dominant segment is what's called Parks and Rec, right? So these are the three primary categories of people that make up the 19021 area. Describes what their life mode is, what their urbanization is like, gives you definitions of what those, the population, the majority of the makeup is. You see their average age, their average incomes, right? What kind of, and this is based off of, surveys, I'm assuming census, what kind of employment they tend to be engaged with, professional, management, or administration. This category for the Metro Fusion is services, administration, or professional. What kind of education the majority of them have, how they, what kind of preferred activities they do. This category tends to take a lot of US vacations. They like to play blackjack and poker. This one likes to spend money on what's hot unless they're saving for something specific. This category, they like to go hunting, fishing, you know, but it breaks down each category into even more of a definition, right? The Parks and Rec, who are we? What their neighborhood is like, right? Socioeconomic traits, more than half of the population is college educated. They're older residents that older residents draw Social Security or retirement income. Their market profile, convenience is important. They prefer ground coffee over coffee beans. Like, this is just some crazy information that they get from all of the surveys that they conduct with the census. And it breaks down each person or each category of group and what the makeup of these people are in that area, right? So I believe one of them, it even, look, right here. They like to pass time at home watching documentaries on Animal Planet, Discovery, or History Channel. I mean, this is some detailed, you know, information. And if this is all true and only available to us as realtors, you know, you could make you know, a mailer that looks like it would be from like a Discovery type, you know, mailer, or outdoorsy type mailer, if that's the type of demographic that makes up a particular neighborhood is. Scrolling down further past this is where it starts to break down the population comparison. You know, what is 19021 doing compared to Bucks County in Pennsylvania? The daytime population, right? This is showing you basically 2,000 people commute out of the area during the day. Gives you the breakdowns of what, you know, what graph is what. Average household size. Population by age. Like, I mean, this is detailed information. How many people are married, never married, widowed, divorced, and then even breaks down traffic. Here's another graph for unemployment rates, high school education comparison from 19020 to all of Bucks County to Pennsylvania. Right? What does the area consist of? What kind of do they have? They have too many of particular types of stores? Do they have not enough types of stores? Right? A lot of specialty food stores located here, lawn and garden stores, hardware stores. Right? Even daily traffic counts on a daily basis. These intersections where they, you know, you ever driving down the street and you see those boxes on the side of the road that are counting, you know, passes, that's going towards this census as well, right? So right here is the main road that goes towards the Burlington-Bristol Bridge. You see that on a daily basis, any given day since 2018, there's about 18,744 commutes that go through this one road here, right? So you can, if a particular client says, you know, I really want to stay off the beaten path, I don't want to be on, you know, major highways where there's a lot of traffic, you know, hey, is there a lot of traffic in that area? I've been looking at Croydon. Well, on the main roads, yes, but on the back roads, there's not really too much traffic. But yeah, straight through State Road, going over the bridges, going straight down Route 13, you can see that there's a lot of daily traffic. And that is a trade report. As far as the RPR links, to be able to access RPR, you want to go to www.narrpr.com. And then they also have a blog where you can go for support, as well as a 24/7 support number that you can call and ask somebody, you know, how to do something specific on, you know, RPR's website. So the blog website is blog.narrpr.com, and that's for help and support on the web. And then the 24/7 support telephone number is 877-977-7576. Again, that number is 877-977-7576. So now if anybody has any questions to anything that was gone over during the course of this class. I'd be more than happy to take some extra time to answer questions or go over something in more detail. I know there was a lot of information given throughout the course of this. I wanted to make sure that I hit everything within the hour time limit, which is kind of why, I wanted to make sure that we finished on time and not hold anybody up for any other classes or anything.
Great information, Ted. Thanks for sharing. I would have never known anything about that.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
thank you.
It's amazing. That is amazing. I
And
mean,
like I said, what I went over, I mean, this is just scratching the surface. I wanted to make sure that you guys had a good idea of what you can do in there. The more that you go in there and you play around and you look at the different types of reports that are able to be created. Like here's what a school report looks like, right?
do appraisers, do you think, use any of these things for these adding and subtracting or adjustments and stuff? Or do they have their own?
Yeah. I mean, it's actually funny that you mentioned that. If you go in and you go to create a report, like I was showing you earlier for CMA, when you click on sales report to create a valuation workbook for your sellers, for your listings, it's actually going to ask for a state that you work in and the license number. Now that's that is for appraisers only. That like I said, it's very detailed. When you go to create that report, everything is done monetarily. There's no slide bars or adding numbers of bedrooms and things like that. It's actual.
I mean, I think we always wonder that stuff. Somebody will say, I put a $50,000 kitchen in, and then you say like, well, what the hell, how much is that worth in your value back,
Right.
So it certainly gives you an idea.
You can still do a sales comparison just like an appraiser would. You just skip the step of entering your license number as an appraiser. And I'll show you real quick what that actually gives you the ability to see in these valuation workbooks that you can create. It actually shows you what the market is doing stability wise. If it's holding steady, if it's declining, if it's appreciating. Let's get to that section of the workbook here, where it'll break it down with actual arrows and graphs of how the market is holding up right here, right? So the local market conditions on a valuation, it shows you like the sales, they're holding steady over the last 7 to 12 months. Over the last 4 to 6, you can see that they're starting to drop. Over the last 3, how much they're dropping, right? This right here is a big telltale sign on what that particular area.
I'm just going to say, do it 3 months from now. Wait till you see what this month.
Oh, yeah, it'll probably all be red at that point,
Exactly.
But months of housing supply, right? If no new houses were to come on the market in this specific area, they would run out of all of the inventory that they have on hand within 4 months.
Sure.
So this is, look right here. As of 3 months,
we should have what, a 6 month? We should have like a 6 month supply.
Right. There should always be a revolving supply. As of 3 months ago, this 19124 zip code would run out of all their inventory within 1.9 months.
Because it was like Christmas time. Sure.
Right. Yep. Absorption rates. There's just so much information that we have available to us through this website, and it seems like almost everybody that I talk to about RPR, every single person comes back with, well, what's RPR? I mean, this is so much that nobody should not know about this.
What is your background, Ted?
I was actually I still am a respiratory therapist, licensed respiratory therapist. But I was a local area manager for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast region of a nationwide healthcare company. So I was the manager and supervisor for 25 therapists over Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, DC, North Carolina, and South Carolina. So basically teaching the therapists how to conduct the program and go in and learn the systems and the software, ironically. Which is kind of why I kind of have taken to Command and DocuSign and taken initiative to kind of go out there and learn the systems that everybody is trying to adapt into. Being new into real estate, it kind of was my bargaining chip to say, hey, maybe I can sit down and teach you guys DocuSign if you can teach me a little bit about this scenario. And then,
the short answer is he's done.
Thank you, though. I can tell. Amazing. I mean, I bet half the people don't even know this even exists.
Yeah.
was so much helpful information on there.
Yeah, I mean, how come NAR doesn't put this stuff out there? I mean, I guess maybe they do. Maybe I don't read enough. I don't know. But
Yeah, I mean, the information right as I was getting into real estate back at the end of November there is I kind of jumped the gun and I went online and started to do my own Googling as to like, what are some of the most valuable applications that people tend to use. You know, what is something that's good to have in your little your arsenal of tricks.
this certainly is one of them.
Yeah, almost across the board, RPR was rated #1 across the nation. And like I said, like
This blows right away.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
being able to
for
see
sure.
the public records and the information, that's great, right? But to be able to have on a micro neighborhood level of, I mean, like I said, I didn't even get into the full details of what it can do because each section that I kind of breezed over, you could do an hour, 2-hour class on each thing, right? So when you're searching neighborhoods for Levittown, you can actually take that down to a micro level and see Indian Creek and click on all the individual tiny little boxes, not just the zip code, but developments.
I think you can just play. Yeah, you can play around with it, I'm sure, and discover a whole bunch.
Yeah. But
Matter
drive
of
times,
diving in.
yeah, people that are commute, you know, dependent. I can't drive more than 30 minutes. Being able to look in all the areas that are within 30 minutes of their property. I mean, there's just so much that it can do. And like I said, if anybody has any questions on any of it, feel free to you know, let me know, and I can sit down and we can go over one-on-one, just kind of, you know, redefining what the neighborhood section is, what the school district section is, how to generate reports. You know, just let me know, and I'm happy to sit down with you.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Gold star for you, Ken.
Absolutely. Good job. I would have never known it even existed.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's helpful. I'll be putting the video up on the website so that we'll be able to reference it at later times. But I did create a PowerPoint that I can send out to you as well. Just let me know if that's something that you're interested in. You can send me your email and I can send you the rough draft of the PowerPoint presentation that I created just to kind of.
That's great. What's your email, Ted? Ted, what's your email?
It's Ted, TED, Larson, LARSEN @ kw.com.